Everything's all cut now. Good pile of 14 gauge and 12 gauge ready for the table. And over here on the table we have a fresh piece ready to start cutting. This is cutting out airplane weather vanes. First we start out with the program where they get cut, and we take them over to the table, the cutting table, and we cut them out with the plasma cutter, the CNC plasma cutter. CNC plasma cutter runs off this plasma machine, brings air in, got a water table to catch all the smoke and to cool it, and we'll show that next. And this will be the plasma machine cutting out a Southwest Airlines 737. This is a shot of the airplanes after they've been out of the acid bath and washed. Takes most of the dross off of them. Then we just have to go ahead and run a sander over them, and then we'll put them in the blaster. The next step is the sandblaster. We've got our welded up pieces into the sandblaster. We'll go ahead and get a nice sandblasted profile, get rid of all the weld splatter, and then we'll go ahead and powder cut it, get it in the oven, and get ready to ship. These are the 1/2 inch cold rolled steel shafts that I use. I have to put those in a lacquer thinner solution to get the oils off of it, and then I'll run them on the belt sander to take the edges off. Here's the bearings that I use, 1 inch OD by 1/2 inch ID sealed bearings. These are the bases. I've got yet to machine the inside of these for the bearings. Then I take these shafts and I've got to weld a washer on them for support so that the weather vane doesn't drop down through the supports. I made a little jig here, or a fixture. I'll just weld this onto the table. I'll slide this in. It fits pretty tight, and then I will go ahead and put the washer on top and weld it. Then that gets welded to the airplane. The next step in the process is welding the airplane onto the 1.5 inch shaft. Okay, next is the powder coating process. This is the powder coating machine. Get it turned on and show you what it's about. Anyway, this is the gun, and there's an electrode inside the gun, and it charges the powder as it comes out. It charges it up to 100 kVA, which is 100,000 volts. And we have a ground rod. It's right here. There's ground wire. It runs outside, and it goes into a ground rod in the ground. So the positively charged powders shoot onto the metal and stick there by static. And the powder is just, as you can see, just a powder. And then we put it into our oven, which I'm getting heated up to 400 degrees. That's what I want to heat it up to. 400 is 389 right now. And it uses a lot of power. It has 4 big heating elements in it, and that's where I'll set my parts. And then that'll bake that powder at 400 degrees, and once it reaches 400 degrees we let it sit for 10-11 minutes, bring it out, let it cool, and then it'll be perfectly smooth, be chip resistant, long lasting, and excellent for outdoor use. So powder coating is next. Okay, I'm ready to start powder coating. Once I start it up, I'm going to turn the sound way down because this fan here makes a lot of racket and it'll just drive you insane to hear that the whole time. So I'll go ahead and show you what the powder coating is like. I'll be shooting it on the front side, and you'll see it wrap around through static electricity. It wraps around to the back side, and so you just have to coat the back side just a little bit. I try to put it on about 2 to 3 mils thick. That seems to be the optimum for corrosion resistance and longevity. Okay, got 5 pieces all ready to go into the oven. Oven's up to 400 degrees. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and put them in the oven, and then we use this IR temperature gun to make sure that the part is 400 degrees, because once it gets up to 400 degrees then we start our time and then let it bake on there. Okay, here's where we see if the part's up to temperature. The oven looks like it's pretty close to 400 degrees. Now we'll go ahead and come over here and get our temperature probe. Open up our little door, turn on the light, open her up, and we'll see what we got. About 390. There's 400 right there. Wow, it's hot. Whew. So we can go ahead and start our time, and we'll get that, all those baked on there. Well, it gets hot in there. And we'll wait our 10 minutes, curing time, take them out, let them cool, and then they'll be ready to go into the Weathervane arms. Okay, the alarm has sounded and it's time to get the airplanes out of the oven. They're 400 degrees hot, so I gotta put on some welding gloves to open up the door and get them out. Oh, they're looking good. Hot. Wow, wow. Hot, hot, hot. Wow. Boy, those are hot. Hot, hot, hot. Okay, there they are, all out of the oven. Just have to cool down and they'll be ready to stick in the Weathervane arm. I've got Weathervane arms already made up, so I'm not going to show that. But they're looking good. The nice and smooth. And that'll look great on someone's Weathervane.